Well, welcome to Winton, rural racing heaven, I call it. We love coming to this joint. It's so cool to be back. So where are we? Because remember, we've just come from the other side of Australia. Down here in Victoria, a couple of hours drive north of Melbourne. And what's really cool about where this is, look, Seymour, Shepparton, Benalla, Albury's up the road there. There we go. It's got a great catchment. So people come from everywhere, including over the border, right down into here to Winton Motor Raceway. Look at it there. Look at the rural setting it is. It's pretty cool, eh? We love it. And the people that come here just typify the area and the culture that is Australia. And that's why this is one of my favourite places. Lots of character that circuit's got, but we'll get to that in just a sec. So, yep, it's Ned Kelly country. You saw Glenn Rowan just up the road. In fact, I just noticed something there. Ned, if I recall, I reckon he had a decent old set of eyebrows, didn't he? Something like that. And in fact, that's Waters, that's not Craig Lowndes. But this is Ned Kelly country and we love it. So we've been coming here for a long time, and when you look at this circuit, that picture I'm guessing is probably 40 years old, and nothing's really changed in terms of where the spectators line up around the circuit. They camp over here. It's just got this great vibe. Look at the old cricket ground in the centre there. Really, really nice. And going way back when, there was all sorts of series production races and what have you. And look at that. I love that picture here. Through the S's, turn 1 and 2. Alan Moffat there in the XY GTHO Phase 3. Iconic race car. Beautiful stuff, eh? It really is. And this is one of my favourite shots. I've showed you it before a few years ago. I just love... There's Brocky. Look at him eyeballing the curb down there over at turn 6 and 7 there. You know, you've got over the back here. Look, I see, you know, XT Falcon. I see E.H. Holden. I see XM Falcon. A couple of Morrises there. Aussie Culture. Brock at the wheel. Look at him eyeballing there. And all these years later, you know what? Look at this. Nothing's really changed. Everything's changed, but the game still remains. All the aero, all the power, all the technical advancement, but it's still so much about what this guy at the wheel's doing. Arrowing in, looking at the apex. Just beautiful stuff, eh? Anyway, let's truck on. 85 was actually the first time we had a touring car race. And what's quirky about that, in 1985, first time ever, and only time ever, we've had a touring car race without a Holden in it. There was no Holden there. Scafey, how do we get back to that spot? Huh? And even back then, Dickie Johnson, you know, in his Mustang back then, and now Dick Johnson's team's back here with Mustangs again. Who would have thought we'd gone in that big circle? Lovely stuff. And here's a picture of the guys back in the day. Brock and Johnson here, running a marathon around a clothesline. That's what Dick called it, because it's such a tight, gnarly circuit. You've got to work hard at the wheel all the time. Drivers love it because it's a driver circuit. You've got to work really, really hard. Now, when we look at the circuit now, because back then I think it was about 2.1 kilometres, if I remember. It's now 3.9 because we added this bit here. And what's quirky about this joint, right there, it's the least full throttle of anywhere we go. It's the slowest average speed of anywhere we go, 137 kilometres an hour. That's slow for us. Average, 69% of your laps turning. So the car's constantly working. And when we talk about overtaking spots, you know, from turn 1, that's a good overtaking spot. This is a cracking overtaking spot. We occasionally see a move here. We see a lot happen here. We occasionally see someone slip it up the inside there. Sometimes here, sometimes here, sometimes here. There's not too many tracks we go to where I can put that many circles and say they're overtaking spots. And that's where we get this unpredictability of results here that we see so often. How unpredictable? When I look at who the winners and losers are here, what do you notice? Seaton and Bauer. So no Jamie Whincup, no Lowndes, no Scaife, no Ambrose, no McLaughlin. These are the guys that actually have won the most races there. It is so hard to continue winning here. And when you look at the records, this blows me away, this stat. I showed it a few years ago, but I still can't get over it. These three guys, Moffat, Johnson, Brock, three of our greatest ever, never won a race here. In fact, I just told Jamie Whincup this morning, he'd forgotten about it. In the decade when he was dominant, even Jamie never won a race here from 2012. He did something, I think it was 16 or 18 races here and never won one. That is quite remarkable. So what we end up with is this great variety of winners. I mean, look at the podium there a few years ago. Coulthard, Holdsworth, Mark Winterbottom. Winton Motor Raceway, 13 different winners, right, in the last 20 races. There is no other track that can claim that. So tune in and enjoy this afternoon, because I hope this weekend we can deliver you another round of unpredictable results.